Good afternoon, everyone. We will now have our official hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Everybody.
Let's cut the ribbon. You're gonna, well, get over here because this is your home turf.
Amen.
Alice, come on over here. Listen, I know how to do this, but you guys are going to do it. You guys make the cut, and I'll just hold my hands to hold it. Let's see if it works. Hey! Hey!
Come on in.
Okay.
Long time coming. Glory to God. Yes, sir. It shall be renewed. Yes, sir.
There we are.
Amen.
Miss Brown. Oh, music right here. The music right here.
We'll now have music by in tempo.
will now have a solo guitar piece by Andrew York called Heat. And performing it is Emily Ela. Let me just move this a little closer. We have some other selections after the ceremony.
Well, well, well. Wow. Good afternoon. Before we begin our ceremony, let us pause in memory of our dear brother, our dear friend, Dudley Williams. Thank you. We do gather here this afternoon with a sad heart, but also with thanksgiving because Dudley was such a good friend, such a good supporter. And we're just happy to be here in this space. Thanks to each and every one of you for being here with us today. We are very pleased to be able to welcome you to our newly renovated library. And on behalf of Team Ferguson, I'd like to express our sincere appreciation to all of you who generously helped to make this possible and to become a success. We could not have did it without you. We welcome you today and every day to come and enjoy this beautiful space open to all. We want you to know that this is your home away from home, and you are always welcome here. We just celebrated, as you know, the 50th anniversary of the Southend branch of the Ferguson Library. And the celebration keeps going on and on and on. I think Alice thinks sometimes they love to party down at the Southend branch. And then Susan, my supervisor, said, "Oh, okay, Josephine." So we continue to celebrate. It is said that whatever fills your bucket is what will slosh out onto others. So we will continue to fill our library buckets with hope, with kindness, with respect, with out-of-the-box thinking, with intentional, radical service. And I would be remiss if I didn't call out the names of a few people whose spirit is with us today. To Mr. Ernest D. Mattia, we speak your name. Amen. To Mr. Lathan Wider Senior, amen, we speak your name. To Mr. John Brown, amen, we speak your name. Yes. To Mr. Dudley Williams, yes, we speak your name. Yes. To Mr. E. Philip McCain, yes, we speak your name. Yes. To Ms. Helen Napolitano, we speak your name. To Joyce Jackson, and many, many others that we just don't have time to call today. We speak your names. Again, we welcome you into the space called Ferguson South End Branch. We are grateful to have you join us here at the reopening of the celebration. So with a very, very warm welcome to each of you, I personally say, Mrs. Josephine Fulcher Anderson, personally say, thank you.
Mrs. Josephine Fulcher Anderson has asked me.
The mic is over here.
I know, I'm going to get something of it. I did write a card, but if you may indulge me. Yep, here you go. There you go. I just, it's not enough words. So I'm just gonna give you that. Okay. And we'll discuss it another time. Okay. She called out names, and there's a Macklin.
Yes.
Yes, I know, that's why you couldn't do everybody.
I can tell it all.
Yes, and my mommy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nancy Ann Smith's now in their memory. And she has asked me just do a small moment. However you pray, however you have a moment of silence, I believe there's all different types of beliefs and faiths, but I am a Jesus chaser. Oh, wise and eternal God, we come before you in this hour. We give you thanksgiving for this day, a day that you have already set apart and set for today, that we will honor the ancestors for their contribution in this renewed and this revived and renovated Southend Ferguson Library branch. We thank you for those who have gone ahead. We thank you for the one who is here today and those to come, the descendants. We honor you, we love you, and we give you glory that everyone who steps in this place, on this ground, may be blessed and highly favored. In the name of the one who is to come again, Yeshua, Jesus the Christ. Amen.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Olga Brown Vanderpool, and I am co-chair of the Stamford Advisory Board. The other co-chair, Mr. John Wooten, unfortunately, he's out of town. He's not here, but he sends warm greetings. Mother Nature certainly cooperated to give us a fabulous day to celebrate the opening of the newly refurbished Ferguson Southend Library. And this woman to my right, as many of you may know, has labored long in this vineyard, over 30-something years. And currently she's the librarian of the year for the state of Connecticut. She has done so much to uplift individuals, families, children, the community. She gives all of herself. And I am honored to be your mistress of ceremony this afternoon. If you have a program, you can follow along. If you don't, please grab one because a lot of effort has gone into making your program. We're gonna have greetings from Mayor Martin, from the representatives of the 3rd District, Elsa Coleman and Terry Adams, the district representatives. We're gonna also hear from Anderson Livingston, who's the chair of the Library Board of Trustees. We're gonna hear from the illustrious Alice Knapp, who is the president of the Ferguson Library, and there may be others. And so we're just gonna go along in this order. If there are others, then we'll certainly let you know. So we'll hear from Mayor Martin next.
Thank you very much. Just so you know, the superintendent was saying I'm not much of a fashion statement today.
I try to help him.
She particularly likes these things around my ankles. Today is the first seasonal mayoral bike ride, and so I came over here from the government center on my bike. But what I wanted to say, and actually, I think the superintendent has actually heard this, or maybe Alice has heard this before. I've asked the question, what is the greatest invention of our species? And some people would say, oh, it's the electric light. Some people would say it's, well, we figured out how to keep time. Or we have this marvelous thing called the cell phone, or we've learned how to fly, in fact, not just above in the air, but we can fly all the way to the moon. None of them compare to our greatest invention, which is the invention of written language. No other species does that. And it is the foundation from everything else that we do. I can go get an engineering book and figure out how to make an electric light or a fluorescent light or an LED light. I can read about how to fly an airplane or how to fly a spaceship. It all comes from written language. And when our students go into kindergarten, the first thing that we want to know is, do they know their letters? And we have books like, where did it go? An African alphabet. And this branch is a monument to the greatest achievement our species has ever made. And it's not like, a stone monolith. It is more, even though it is a small branch, it is not the physical walls, it is the teaching and the carrying forth of that greatest invention that is carried forth dynamically from generation to generation. And who do we have to thank? The Connecticut Librarian of the Year. So I say, you are carrying on one of the most important missions that can ever be carried on, and reaching out in communities that might otherwise not have the full appreciation of what all this is to offer. So thank you. On behalf of all of those who don't know to thank you, I thank you. You've been terrific. You're going to continue to be terrific. And this is terrific. And I just want to say thank you all for being here on this important day. And I would also say that Alice and I are cooking up something else. And we're not ready, but we're cooking up something else in furtherance of that living monument to what we can achieve as a species. So thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I need some books on facts.
We own it. I love that.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Anderson Livingston. I'm the board chair of trustees for the Ferguson Library. So we're really happy that everyone could join us today. First, I do want to send my thoughts off to Dudley Williams personally. Professionally, he and I interacted a lot, but personally, he was a mentor to me. So, and he would very, he would obviously be joining us today. And I think the library is something he's always championed, supported, even when he was on the Board of Finance, getting his resources. So, it shouldn't go unnoticed that, he really will be missed, and it was a treasure for the Stanford community. So thank you. But we're really excited that everyone's here today. As we look to move forward, the renovations, I think the mayor said it, it's just not the books and the, sort of the carpet, the chairs. It's really the community what makes a library. And we're very fortunate to have Mrs. Anderson leading us. I remember meeting her, I think 4 or 5 years ago at a retreat that the library had, and it was talking about the libraries of the future. And I think that's when we first met. And we actually sat next to each other. So that's when we first met. And I think back to that conversation about libraries of the future, particularly that we're here celebrating the reopening of the Southend branch. This branch, I spoke to someone a while ago talking about specifically about this branch and talking about how this is more of a community branch, a cultural center, a family resource. If you look outside, hopefully you guys will take a chance to look outside. There are a lot of resources that will benefit, that do benefit the community that are outside. I literally just met a guy named Barry Woods, who's a book author and is explaining all the teaching he's doing. And that's something that, is important in our library, particularly for people of color. A lot of times the library is not the first place people think of to go. And I think my first interaction with the Ferguson Library was, and I told Alice, I used to drive out every day, and I hadn't stopped in. I didn't have small kids, so I almost didn't have a reason to go into the library. I look back and I'm thinking I sort of missed opportunities of not going into the library. The educational programs, entrepreneurship programs, the book clubs, the arts and crafts, English as a second language. You literally can get everything at the library. And I think we as a community don't do libraries enough justice in terms of what they actually provide. You could get a lot of things elsewhere, but you can't get them all in one place. I think that's what the library actually does. So we're very fortunate to actually be here today to really celebrate the reopening and really having Mrs. Anderson as a leader of this organization. I mean, every organization is really judged by its leadership. So if you take Mrs. Anderson out, would we have another 50 years like we've had in the past? So we do thank her for her leadership. And we really thank all of you for supporting the library, coming out today and really celebrating with us and just really just sharing in today's special day. So hopefully you all will stick around for as long as we're going to be here today. I think we got ice cream. I don't know about the cake, but I know we got some ice cream, some giveaways. And again, just really thank you everyone for coming. Thank the mayor for coming. Thank all of you for coming and supporting the library. Thank you.
Good morning. Nope, I did it again. Good afternoon. Hi. Excuse the mask, and I have to read this because Miss Josephine says to make it short. She was right. The Connecticut Library Association named Miss Josephine Outstanding Librarian for 2021. Libraries. Say that again. Libraries meeting challenges in a changing world might apply to any year, but this branch, our Southend Community Branch, has braved more challenges than even an old pandemic. We all are like an old breakfast that carries you all day, along with the generations of people in this community. Ms. Anderson is one of the sheroes. I also want to thank the CAP agency, the Connecticut Action Agency, who has a table outside. They are Simba in The Lion King. They lift up the eyes of government to many needs of inner city communities. They act on them. They act on them. Visit Sonia, site director at the Connecticut Actions table outside. You might need something they're offering. So, and Sonia is right here in the black and white. Thank you, and thank you, Ms. Anderson. Thank you, Ferguson Library. I've been in this community for 32 years and in Stanford my entire life. And I grew up on the bookmobile. Thank you.
My name is Harry Adam. I'm just here to thank you for the reopening of the library and for the mayor putting the funds in. I'm forward to help renew this library because, like everyone was saying, the library is more than just a library. We normally send people here who need help in anywhere, whether they're dealing with their social security or dealing with a motor vehicle appointment, we always send them to Ms. Anderson. She's like the thread to the neighborhood. Any resources or trying to get on the food truck, we always send her here that she can guide her in the right direction. So I want to thank you for the 50-year anniversary that you just had, and you've supported the neighborhood and the CAP agency also. And I hope you keep up the good work. Thank you for your 37 years. Thank you.
I am Alice Knapp, president of the Ferguson Library, and it's so great to see so many people together. It's been so nice. I have so many good friends here. There's Caroline Simmons, Temu Lutero, Steve Weiss, who I met, I think, the first week I was in my role. David Weiss, I'm sorry. First week I was in my role as he came to my office to complain, and we've been best buddies ever since. What I wanted to say is, of course, I have to acknowledge all the great gifts that we received in order to put this library together. We have fantastic support from the city of Stamford, and that allows us to be able to fundraise for extra things. And in this case, a grant from First County Bank allowed us to update all of our digital in this library and to really bring us into the 21st century. From CT Next, which sounds a little odd because they're really into entrepreneurship, but they allowed us to hire architects to develop a plan so that we can meld the old and the new neighborhoods down here in the Southend Harbor Point and be a place where entrepreneurs can come and tap into our wonderful Wi-Fi and our services here. And then, of course, Rotary helped us buy all the furniture. Dudley and his spirit is so in this place. Dudley was a member of the Southend Advisory Board, and at the very first meeting, you could see him looking around. And we had already had, we were meeting to plan the 50th anniversary, but we already knew that we had put together the monies to renovate. And when I wanted to renovate, I was thinking furniture and digital. I wasn't thinking rug, new circulation desk, new painted walls, but of course, nobody says no to Josephine. But what he did, he looked around and he said, the foundation hasn't given any. And so we were able to put together several different grants, money from the library's foundation, as well as a little from our operating budget to put this all together. And it's just wonderful, and I hope you enjoy it. But the other thing that I wanted to say is that when I saw Dudley's face looking around, I was embarrassed, because it had at that point been 30 years since the Southend branch had been renovated again before. And that is too long. And we're working with the Harry Bennett branch, and it's been 20 years. And now Weed is 16 years. And so we are working, our board and our building committee is working to put together a master plan so that we will have continuous updates and that will never go this long again. But enjoy this new branch. The furniture is wonderful, all bought during COVID, so you won't see any upholstery anywhere. It can be wiped down, cleaned off, hosed up, all over. So thank you very, very much.
We're going to have a few words from the president of the HAPAC, the Haitian community.
Mrs. Anderson.
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, Mrs. Anderson is the godmother of the Haitian community. I must say, on behalf of the Haitian community, I'd like to thank Mrs. Anderson for supporting the Haitian American Professional Association of Connecticut for the past 20 years. And we have had our book fair in promoting Haitian literature with Ferguson Library. for the past 20 years. We could not have asked for a better partner, supporter than Mrs. Anderson. And I have to also thank Emmanuel, who's also been, Emmanuel Doris, who's also the go-to person for all activities, for book fair. And Mrs. Anderson, Ferguson Library, and everyone who have participated to make Ferguson Library what it is today. We thank you. We owe you a great debt of gratitude. Thank you.
Liberty of saying that Mrs. Anderson don't do nothing by herself. And my motto is working together work. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. Mrs. Anderson is not responsible for this. I'm blessed to be here. I thank you all, but it's all of us, okay? It's all of us. I see, I think about Mr. DiMatteo. I'm here because of Mr. DiMatteo. You know, his outreach and his love for people and music. And let me sit down.
We're gonna have a few words from the superintendent of schools, Dr. Tamu Lucero.
So you knew if anything's hosted by the library, I'm there. Because I grew up in the library. It's my place. It is what made me an ambitious girl who made by phenomenal women. So when I saw this book today, I said, this was the ambitious girl who had no idea she could become a superintendent, but there were phenomenal women who were behind her telling her she could do this. And so I appreciate you. Libraries make me happy. You know why? Because they're an extension of our classrooms. They make us who we are. So we have classrooms around this amazing school district, but it's when our kids leave our schools that we worry. What's going to happen to them in the summertime, in the evenings, in the early mornings? You know what happens? They come to the libraries like I did. And I found books. I've not read this book yet. I'm gonna steal it. Because I will use my 50th anniversary library card that was sent to my office. Thank you very much. But it really does have a safe place for all of us. And all of us can tell stories about whether it's a bookmobile, which we heard people talk about.
Your favorite.
Or my favorite. You couldn't get me off the bookmobile. Or it's just being in our community libraries. One of the reasons why my husband and I chose where we live around the corner from the downtown library. You know why? Because I need to enter there. It centers me. It makes me who I am as your superintendent. So I thank you, Ms. Josephine, for all that you do for us. You are amazing. You spread light among this city. And when I didn't know what to do, I turned to a book. All through this year, all through this pandemic, books kept me going. Not research books, but children's books. If you come to my office, you will often see me pull a book off my shelf because I sometimes need to just be inspired by the words. And we know, I spend a lot of time as an elementary teacher and an elementary principal, and children's books inspire me on a regular basis. You inspire me every day. So I know you say it's about everyone else, but I know it's about you. And I thank you for all you did because I would not have gotten through this year without you. So thank you so much. And this is an amazing space. I will be back a lot to grab some more books because this is what we should be doing as a community. So thank you so much for having me today.
We're gonna enjoy some more music by Tempo. can't hear the music the children are performing. Is there anyone else who would like to bring greetings, say a few words? I'm sorry.
Couple more songs.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, in tempo, we'll perform some more. That was phenomenal, and we have to ask the leader, Mr. Ben, if you would please stand and take a bow. phenomenal work with your young people. Thank you. And we're gonna have a few words by, what's the name? The Charles family.
Who's in here every day.
So we are just in love with this branch and we love the library. And as Superintendent Tamu said, like the library is just a safe place. Like we love this branch, but whenever we're out of town, we don't know where's the library. Like that's, you don't know anybody there, but the library, you're safe. And this is just a place of just love and warmth. And as you can see, I'm talking and she's just picking up books and reading. So this is our life. So we come every day, right after school, we do homework here. And Miss Denise flickers the lights, it's time to go, and you gotta go. 5:30, it's not enough. It's not enough. We're like, we need to go home, but it's a lovely place to be. It's safe, it's just homey, and we request books. We search the catalogs, and we request to pick them up here. We read here, do homework, and we're inviting more friends. So it's just home, and I was just crying because it is true. Like you feel safe and at home, and it just warms my heart. And my kids love it, as you can see. So it's a great place to be. You can get the books old-fashioned, or you can request online. You can request movies, and it's just a great resource. Take advantage. Thank you. Thank you.
Want to say a few words? All right.
We're gonna now,
Next library.
we're gonna now hear from Janine Burke, who is the president of the Sanford Board of Education.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to say congratulations to the Ferguson Library and to Mrs. Anderson. One of the things that I love about this library is it's full of books, but it's also full of community and culture. And I can remember so many times my husband and I coming and hearing a poetry night or a jazz night. And then oftentimes I'll get the Ferguson Library newsletter and just reading through the happenings and events. There'll be book clubs throughout all the different libraries, and I commute to work. So while I can't always pick up a book and physically read it, and I try to use my time wisely, I'll Google the book, I'll find the book in the library, I'll download it, and I have the opportunity to read it, while I'm traveling back and forth and be a part of the book club in terms of understanding and knowing what books they're reading. So this is a phenomenal space. Thank you to everybody that took part in creating this. It is a home for all of us in this community. So I just want to say thank you and congratulations to the Ferguson Library and to Mrs. Anderson.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this completes the formal session of the day. However, as I close out, I'd like to ask all the members of the Stamford or the Southend Branch Advisory Committee, Advisory Board to please come forward. So this is the group without Dudley Williams, unfortunately, but his spirit is here, that worked very hard in conjunction with the main branch of the Ferguson Library and Mrs. Josephine Anderson, and of course, Mr. John Wooten, who is not here today. This is the group working together from a place of love and caring as we emulated Mrs. Anderson that brought this day together. Now, there are lots of activities outside, and as a former member of the health department, I want to say first, you can get your flu vaccine. So please. Clinic is in session. There are 3 public health nurses there, and you can get your flu vaccine. And Connecticut is one of the top states in the country. 49% of the people in the state of Connecticut are fully vaccinated, and that is wonderful. There are photo booths with music, there are balloons, there are sidewalk games. You get to meet Barry Woods, who is the author of Why Youth Don't Give a Damn Anymore. There are giveaways and grab and go craft bags. There's ice cream for those of us who are not watching calories. There's bottled water. And I just want to say on behalf of all of us that it has been a pleasure. This has been a labor of love. And it's such a beautiful day. We want you to go out after you've enjoyed all that has been prepared for you and enjoy the rest of the day. Our final item will be a poem by Angie Manigat. And after she presents, I want you to just think about the words as you go about the rest of this day. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Angie come forward, I would really be remiss if I didn't mention Emmanuel DeResta, who's been with us over 20 years. He's our head of circulation. And Denise Lyles, our youth services librarian. That is the South End team. Dr. Ev is around here someplace. I just won't let her go. She's here. She's always here to help us. Now, we've known this young lady before she was born, I guess. And we've seen her grow up, and we're just so proud of her, and she will have the last word. Again, we want to thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Angie Manigat. I'm 15 years old and I'm from Stratford, Connecticut. First, I would like to thank the Ferguson Library for inviting me. I've been coming here since I was a baby, so it's been like a home away from home. Today, I'll be reciting the poem Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. This library has been through so much during the pandemic, but it's only come back bigger and stronger. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air, I rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Don't you take it as a surprise, 'cause I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, swelling and welling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise.
I want to thank Ms. Olga Brown for being such a fabulous MC. Y'all can mingle, but it's Chris Benson in the house. Chris, would you please come up, please? I just want to give him a virtual hug, whatever that means. Chris is really the glue that kept everything together. And, okay, at your screen. And did you remember this? And I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you, Josephine.
Thank
I'll
you.
always be here for you.
Okay, working together, work. Thank you.
Thank you.
And all of the members of the Ferguson, Team Ferguson, thank you. Browse around, see your library. Do come back, and I usually card everyone, but I didn't have time to do that today. We'll do it next time. Make sure you visit the booths outside. Thank you. Librarian. Susan DiMatteo, thank you for coming. Thank you. Make sure you guys come on.